Hello and welcome to the section 4.3 lecture today for Algebra 1 Part 1. Today we're going to look at kind of the granddaddy of them all. We've got variables on both sides, we've got distributive property, we have a lot of stuff to take care of. Okay. Again, this is probably going to be the toughest equation solving that we have, at least the most steps anyways. Okay, we might get to some tougher equations, but only by adding different operations in there. So, some things to remember. Distributive property. Okay, I want to take the number outside, bring it inside the parentheses. So 2 times 3 is 6. That one has an x. 2 times 5 is 10. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8x. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. That's an important positive to realize. Some people won't get that. Okay. If I distribute a 1/2, it's the same thing. 1/2 times 4 is 2. That one has an x. 1/2 times 10 is plus 5. Okay, that's it for your little warm-up. Let's bring that idea into some equations. Okay, the first one, I have a negative, just a negative that I'm distributing. Now, technically, that's a negative 1. Okay, and you can think of that as a negative 1 hidden in there that we don't really see. So we do still want to distribute that, but all it's really going to do is change our signs. Okay, from here, we want to do what we did yesterday, and that is get my variables on one side and my numbers on the other. If you still want to draw the arrows of what you're doing, I think that's just fine. And moving the k's to the left, numbers to the right. Negative 1k plus 3k is 2k. X's cancel, numbers cancel. Wow. The k's on that side cancel, and I get 8. Divide by 2 on both sides, and I get k is equal to 4. Next one, we want to distribute first. Boop. My left side is good. 5 times 3 is 15. I don't like that kind of looks like a little negative slit in there. It's not supposed to. 5 times 3b is 15b. Let's go ahead and move our variables right and our numbers left. Subtract 5b, subtract 5b, subtract 15, and subtract 15. A lot of 5s. 5 minus 15 is negative 10. B's cancel, 15's cancel. 15 minus 5 is 15 minus 5 is positive 10. Divide both sides by 10. Get negative 1 is equal to b. Next one, left side looks good. We can just copy that one down. This side we need to distribute. So let's go ahead and say we've got 12 plus 4n. Well, let's move our numbers right, our variables right and our numbers left. Subtract 3n and subtract 12. For me, I always start with the variables and then go to the numbers, and I always start below the one that I'm moving. So you can kind of track my movement there. I started with this one. This was the first one I wrote. Okay, and then I wrote this one because I had to do that to the other side. And then I knew I needed to move this 12 over, so I started with minus 12, and then I copied that minus 12 over here. So just a way that I kind of try to keep organized. I have 5, those cancel, equals 4 minus 3 is 1n. So 5 equals n. Okay, now we've got some tougher ones. There's some distributive property, and then there's some other stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. And we have minus 5x. Over here, we just have negative 5x plus 24. Still on this side, I have some like terms that I need to combine. Negative 4 and negative 5 is negative 9x. And we still have plus 8 equals negative 5x plus 24. So if you're looking back at that step-by-step from yesterday, this was step 1. This was step 2. So we use distributive property, then we combine like terms. Now we're going to go ahead and solve. Get the variables on one side, numbers on the other. Let's go ahead and move variables that way, numbers that way. If you just want to go with the same thing every time, feel free. That is okay. That is a decent way to do it. I'm not going to say, well, I am going to say it, but it's not that bad to be this way. It's kind of boring, right? It has no creativity. Sometimes we like creativity. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. 8's cancels. 8's cancel. 5x's cancel. And here we get, how about 16? Okay. So yeah, 16 is here. I just wrote it that way. Okay. Don't be confused by that. Because, I mean, I could write it over here, but then it just looks weird because it's a long ways away from my equal sign. Divide by negative 4. And I didn't leave much room to write all these. That is okay. Write small, I think you can handle it. Next one. Over here I got number, variable. We're good there. Over here I've got a distribute, and then I've got a number out there. So I'm going to copy down this side. 13 minus 3r is equal to 4 times negative 2 and 4 times 2. That's going to be negative 8r plus 8 minus 5. Now we got some like terms we got to deal with. 13 minus 3r equals negative 8r. Positive 8, negative 5. Looks like a positive 3. We're doing good. Decide which way you want to move stuff. Decide first which way you want to move your variable, then move your number the other way. Again, it doesn't really matter. I'll move my variables left, my numbers right. Because I do like my variables on the left. That does seem a little bit nicer. And I'll subtract the 13, subtract the 13. My 4 little vertical problems. That cancels. Negative 3, positive 8 is positive 5r. Negative 8, positive 8r cancel. Positive 3, negative 13 gives me a negative 10. Divide by 5. And we get r is equal to negative 2. Let's see how many we have. Oh, man, we got a lot of problems today. I love it. Over here, we're pretty good, right? We have number term, variable term. I'll just go ahead and rewrite those. Over here, we've got a distribute, and then we'll have a combine like terms that we have to do also. Negative 5b. Oops, not plus. Ow. So many problems, my wrist is cramping already. That's okay. Got some like terms we got to deal with. I got negative 5b and negative 3b. So let's go ahead and combine those, see what we get. And it does create another step that we have to do, but that's okay. It looks like negative 8b. And minus 5. Let's go ahead and do the same. Variables left, numbers right. So let's go ahead and add 8b. Got to hold yourself back from your B's looking like 6s. That's always important. Penmanship does matter. As long as you can understand it, that's the minimum that needs to happen. Then the teacher's got to understand it too when you turn stuff in. Let's go and do these problems. I got my 7s cancel. -5 plus 8 is positive 3. My B's cancel. -5 minus 7 is -12. Divide by 3. And B is equal to -4. Okay. Let's go ahead and let me do these 3, and you can work through them with me, and then I'll let you go on the last 4, because they're similar to these ones. On these ones, one thing you'll notice that's different here is that all of them have distributive property on both sides. That's like super equations. 4 times -4 is -16m. 4 times 3 is plus 12. Negative, distributing that in, I have -m minus 3. And here we go. Now we've got simplified, so that's good. We just got to move our variables one way, numbers to the other. Let's go ahead and add 1m. Okay with adding 1m. And then I'll subtract 12. And keep in mind, if you still have to do this in 2 steps, that's okay. I'd rather you do it right than be in a hurry. I'm trying to keep video times down just a little bit. But this is one that can definitely get away from us. I've got 12, 12 minus 12 is 0. -m plus m is 0. -3 minus 12 is -15. Divide by -15, and life looks pretty good. I get m is equal to 1. Awesome. Next one, let's distribute. I will have a like term to deal with out here. 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 5x equal to -2 times x is -2x. -2 times 1 is -2. Let's combine our like terms over here, 5x and 5x. We have 10x plus 10 equals -2x minus 2. Got a lot of the same numbers on both sides. Let's see what that actually means for us. Let's go ahead and move the 2x. I like adding. Adding is better than subtracting. I got to subtract there, but that's okay. 10 plus 2 is 12. 10 minus 10 is 0. -2 plus 2 is 0. -2 minus 10 is -12. Oh, that's what it means. You get x is equal to -1. Yep, I do. Didn't write it, though. The brain stopped working. Hate it when that happens. Okay. Let's go back up here. We've got a lot of negatives in this one, but we might not end with a lot of negatives. Got some distributive property to deal with first. -2 times -1 is positive 2. -2 times -5 is positive 10x. Over here we've got that 2x that we're going to have to deal with in just a second, but before that, 2 times x is plus 2x. 2 times -2 is -4. Let's go ahead and combine our like terms right here. I'm just going to highlight those that way. 2 plus 10x is equal to 2 and 2 is 4 minus 4. 4x minus 4. Let's continue with our pattern of moving our x's to the left and numbers to the right. So we'll subtract 4x, and subtract 2, subtract 2. Well, it looks like we might have one of those easier answers again. 2 minus 2 is 0. 10 minus 4 is 6x. 4x minus 4x is 0. And -4 minus 2 is negative 6. Divide by 6. Negative 6 divided by 6 is negative 1. Go ahead and pause the video and try these last three. Hopefully you had a chance to do that. Let's get right into how we do them, or how I do them. 4 times 5 is 20b. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. 4 times b. And 4 times 4. Move my variables to the left. Numbers to the right. And let's see what we get. 16b. Cancels. 32. Divide by 16. B equals 2. Hopefully you got 2, even if you did it a different way. It's totally fine to do it a different way. Let's get this one going. Biggest thing you can do to help yourself get through problems is don't take a big pause in between problems. 3p plus 15 minus 1. 2p plus 6. We've got some like terms here that we need to combine. 3p plus 14 equals 2p plus 6. Let's subtract 2p and subtract 14. Moving faster than my pen can write. 3p minus 2p is p. 14 minus 14 cancels. 2p minus 2p is 0. And so those cancel. And 6 minus 14 is negative 8. So we get p is equal to negative 8. And on the last one, let's go ahead and distribute. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10v. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9v. Negative 3 times negative 4 is plus 12. Let's go ahead and add 9v. And subtract 5. Those cancel. Negative 10 plus 9 is negative 1v. 9v's cancel, and here we get positive 7. Negative v equals positive 7. Positive v equals negative 7. Or you can think divide by negative 1. Either way would be just fine. So now we're going to look at some other things that can happen when we try to solve equations that have variables on both sides. These do come up every once in a while, and they're kind of special cases. So here we have a couple kind of definitions. The first one is that when every number is a solution to the equation is called an identity, as in it's always true. Okay, we might say, in an instance like that, we might say something like all real numbers. And I'm using a notation for real numbers. These can be found when both sides of the equation equal each other. If no number exists that is a solution to the equation, we say that the equation has no solution. These can be found when all the variables cancel and only two different numbers are left that are set equal to each other. So let's go ahead and look at both of these cases here and try to do so in a pretty quick manner. But we do only have 4 problems left. Sorry. So on the first one, I have 5 plus 5x. That side's good. This side I want to do a little bit of distributive property. So let's go ahead and do that. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 1 is plus 5. And let's go ahead and cancel out. Let's do this kind of one step first. On this one, I'll do that, or I'll do 2 steps on this one step on this one, just to make sure we see how it looks both ways. Let me move my variables to the left. So I'll subtract 5x. And when I do that, my x's cancel there, and they cancel there. 5 minus 5 is 0, 5 minus 5 is 0. And I get 5 equals 5. And you may not be believing me that you're done there, right? You are. And I guess let me do the other method also. So let me just take this and move it over. And by other method, I just mean, what if we do both steps at once, right? Like we've done on all the other problems, because I was trying to save time. 5 plus 5x equals 5x plus 5. So now if I decide I'm going to move my variables left and my numbers right, I'll subtract 5x, and then subtract 5, and subtract 5. We technically get a version of the same thing. 5 minus 5 cancels. 5x minus 5x cancels. 5x minus 5x cancels. And 5 minus 5 cancels. We really get 0 equals 0 because we have nothing left on either side. These two things are the same thing, and they mean that any number will work, or all real numbers is how we would answer that. Okay, on the other one, it's titled no solution, so we probably know something weird's going to happen. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's distribute first. We need to do that on both sides. I don't know why that's coming from the equal sign, but deal with it. 2 times n is 2n. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 2 times n is 2n. And 2 times 3 is 6. It's getting late, sorry. If I do this in one step, and let's say that we are in 2 steps, and I subtract 2n from both sides, my n's cancel on both sides, and I get negative 2 equals 6. Okay. And again, this is one way to do this, and you're actually done there. Well, except for saying what the official answer is. If I do it the other way, which I haven't done this method yet today because I'm trying to get through all the problems that we had today. So this is what I did early yesterday. But if I go the other way and I say that I'm going to do both things at once, as in I'm going to add 2 also to both sides, I get something identical to that. Well, not identical, equivalent to this, let's say that. 2n minus 2n cancels, 2 minus 2 cancels, so I have nothing over here. Okay, 2n minus 2n cancels, and here I get 8. These two things do mean the same thing, and it all comes down to say that what you have doesn't work out. All the variables canceled, everything went away, we have no solution. Go ahead and pause the video and try the 2 down below. Hopefully I had a chance to do that. I'm going to do them really quick here. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. That has a v on it. And we have 9 minus 24v. Let's go ahead and add 24 to both sides. Maybe I think that I'm moving those that way and moving those that way. I do have a feeling something weird's going to happen because of what we're talking about, but that's okay. I want to show what it looks like in the way that I've done all the other problems today. So those cancel, and those cancel. So over here I have nothing. Over here I have 13. Since 0 equals 13 is not a true statement, we have no solution. And on my other one, I just have a couple like terms to deal with first. And on this one, you should kind of be able to tell that something's up at this point right here. because I basically have the same thing on both sides. Now, it is written a different way, but it is the same thing. So if I move my variables left and my numbers right, I'd do this. Add 1, add 1. And that cancels, that cancels, that cancels, and that cancels. Everything cancels out. Basically, that 0 equals 0. And again, when 0 equals 0, that means all real numbers would work. And the no solution probably happens more, but the all real numbers is interesting in that any number for the variable would make the two sides equal. So it's kind of interesting. All right, make sure you put any questions you have on the left. Otherwise, have a great day, and we will see you in class.